Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, we're finding out something new every day. I was editing videos and doing this and that, and it got so late. I said, "Oh my gosh, I better just go live." I got some video clips. I can play them tomorrow. I'll wait for my 30 seconds to go by so I don't get in trouble saying anything crazy. But on my thumbnail, I got sudden exposure. A lot of people are being suddenly exposed. And we'll talk about it when more people get the chance, but I'm going to start off with saying, how about those 20 Republicans that voted not to censure Adam Schiff? So I'll put a picture of them, and it's like, you're exposed, man. You've been slipping through the cracks and acting like you're pro Trump and pro America first and all this stuff. But when it got down to brass tacks, 20 Republicans dipped out. And I say, who do you think you're fooling? And the rest of that song says, I was born to be a man. But I don't think I could say that in this day and age, but that's the way it was. I was born to be a man. My mama loved me. She loved me. She got down on her knees and hugged me. Anyway, so let's see. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Hi, Lisa. Love to garden. How are you? CJ 1975. Sherry. Georgia. How are you, Georgia? So I got some interesting comments on some of the videos, especially talking about what Mark Levin said. And so I took it upon myself. I said, well, wait a minute. I read some articles and I read some tweets about Crazy Jack. Hi, Ronald. Hi, Wild West. How are you doing? Hi, Robin. How are you? Rockin' Robin. B-Dog. Rubber Toe. So, some of the stuff I was reading about Jack is very interesting. And I said, oh, hey, somebody went to the Wikipedia page about Jack. And I said, now, why didn't I think of that? And I said Ray Stevens last night instead of Ted Stevens. Senator. I said Ray Stevens. You remember him? He used to do shows. He was one of the first ones back when VCRs first came out. He would put his comedy shows on VCRs tapes, and I got a couple of them. But anyway, I meant to say Ted Stevens, Senator Ted Stevens. He was waylaid by, in my opinion, allegedly a crooked judge, a black hat judge. But anyway, I said, well, let me see what they're saying here, because Mr. T is adamant about saying, who is this Jack Smith? And I just was taken aback by Mark Levin. Now, maybe he is a very animated person, as my dad used to say, animated. And maybe he got carried away and just misspoke about the name Reed. But we don't know what roles people are playing. But somebody put another article out. There were a couple of articles, and that talked about his last name, or having a weird middle name. I'll get to it in a minute. I think something like Lumen or something like that. But another article said, Jack Smith, the special counsel overseeing the classified documents case against former President Donald Trump, has a decades-long prosecution record, including high-profile corruption cases. And there's a cartoon of him. I'll put it on next time I do a picture show video. Next time I put a picture show video, I'll put the cartoon up. And yes, please hit the like button. Thank you, Karen. Miss Mendersu, how are you? Oh, come on, chats. There we go. Got them moving. But Anyway, the cartoon shows Jack with a pilgrim hat on. It says the Witch Finder General, kind of like Salem witch trials. But one person, Retro Coast, put a tweet out about Jack that's getting shared around. And I'm just talking on the fly because I was trying to get a picture show together, but I didn't have time to get all the videos edited. That takes a lot of time, the majority of your day if you're going to do it properly. So I figure I'd save some of the videos till tomorrow. And but anyway, this tweet says, did you know the attorney prosecuting Trump is not even an American? I said, oh my word. Goes on to say, Jack is a United Nations officer living in Belgium. He was flown to the U.S. specifically to prosecute Trump and dresses like a Klingon. Who exactly is Jack Smith? He's not even American? That's the first I heard of that. But that was a tweet that came out today. And somebody posted it on Truth Social. So I said, well, let me pull his Wikipedia up. Okay, and that's what I did. Let me see what it says here. Personal life. It's got one paragraph. One paragraph. I'll read it to you in a second, but I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes. It tells his date of birth, which was he was born in 1969, says who his wife is. I'll read it in a minute. I just want to make sure I don't drop off the live stream when I go out of the studio. But it doesn't say any of his siblings, doesn't say his mother's name or his father's name. Claims that he was an athlete and went to school in Syracuse, New York. But let me see. Early life and education. Smith was born June 5th, 69. He grew up in Clay, New York, a suburb of Syracuse. He went to Liverpool High School. He studied political science at New York at Oneida, graduating in 91 with Bachelor of Arts in Science, summa cum laude. And then he went to Harvard. And says he played football in high school. But hey, we got all that same gibberish about B.O., right? Mr. B.O. And look how many questions we got about him. So we don't know who his parents are. It doesn't say his place of birth. It says he was born somewhere on a date. And then he says he grew up somewhere. He doesn't say he was born in any state. And his professional career, they pretty much go through some cheesy stuff that we all know. November 2022, Garland appointed an independent special counsel to responsible for overseeing existing DOJ criminal investigation of Donald J. Trump, one regarding Trump's role in J6 Capitol attack, and the other into mishandling government records. So, and then, of course, Wikipedia is updated with the 37 count indictment. So that's a pretty sparse government record, because he was working at The Hague. So it's a very suspicious Wikipedia post. And it says he was, well, I make sure I don't fall out of my studio. It says that he was appointed, this is odd, appointed by Merrick Garland, assumed office November 18th, 2022, United States Attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee. And he says, and his wife's name is K. Shavigny. Shavigny. Children, 1. No parents, no nothing, I say. So, other than that little sparse bit of gibberish I told you about, he doesn't have much of a work history, and he's been overseas for half a decade, getting his fingers and stuff overseas. So, anyway, I think we're going to find out more because Trump keeps bringing it up, and now there's stuff getting out there that he may not even be so I think what that tweet say, an American or a U.S. citizen. We'll find out. So isn't that interesting? So just for kicks, I went and looked up Ted Stevens. And don't you know that when he lost his seat in Alaska, a red state, that his opponent was a Democrat. No, that wasn't Dan Sullivan. It was Mark Begich, Begich. He served as U.S. Senator from Alaska from 2009 to 15. And he was previously the mayor of Anchorage. So then he ran for re-election and lost to the current incumbent, who is Dan Sullivan, who is serving with Lisa Murkowski, the one who got threatened in the hallway by Dianne Feinstein. So he's a former Alaska Attorney General. So they snuck one in. They snuck a Democrat in a solid red state by prosecuting Ted Stevens, and the subsequent plane crash that took his life. He couldn't remedy what happened to him. So it's very interesting. Even though I know Wikipedia is very loose as far as where the information comes from, if you know how to look at it, you can get information. And I would venture to say that some time ago, Mr. Smith's parents' names were probably in a Wikipedia bio, and it's been changed. So, yeah, I've seen that happen. When people get in the spotlight and you go to check them out, that stuff gets scrubbed. So let me see who all. I haven't been paying attention to the chats. Yeah, he's from East. I don't know, Georgia. I don't know. That's what everybody's trying to find out. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Lori. Hi, Karen. Wanda, how are you doing? Well, Wanda, you sending everybody old red step stacker on Mike Lindell TV? I'll just go to bed. I don't have much to say anyway. No, I got plenty to say. Hi, Roy. Not easy to get a top job with no resume unless a plant. I'll put that up there. I'll put up there, Roy, because that's what I was saying, whether he wants to be or not. Hi, Em. How are you? So, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on Jack and see what else comes out about him. We'll do a little bit of a deeper dive. And about 3 minutes before I started building my stream with the picture show, Devin Nunes posted a video that did the FBI know if Biden Burisma tapes, did they know of those tapes before Trump's first impeachment? So I was going to play a clip, and I'll probably play it tomorrow or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Or the next time I broadcast, I might go up Thursday. Friday. But anyway, Trump, in his clip, he specifically said that there was an illegal psychological, he used the word illegal, okay? Misinformation campaigns, psychological operations. He said that in Bedminster. And I have said since last year that a PSYOP was considered a weapon, okay? And that Mr. T has said we are WAR, WAR. He said that a long time ago. So I had that clip like everybody else has got of Rachel Maddow saying, we're going to break away from Trump. He's going to be making a response to his 37 criminal, very bad, negative charges where he tried to destroy America, but we're not going to play the clip because it's going to be full of misinformation. Excuse me while I get a drink of my coffee. But when I play that tape of Rachel Maddow, you hear her say, we can get in trouble if we knowingly broadcast false information. So now it's getting down to who knew what and when. So because they have been putting out some stuff. How you doing, Lone Wolf? About Mr. T, that we are exasperated by the falsehoods. Thanks for helping me out last night, Lone Wolf. I didn't get the message till after I hit the end button. So thank you for your help and buy me a coffee, Lone Wolf. I really appreciate it. And also love to garden, and Gary helped out last night. I appreciate that very much. So anyway, I like to play those clips where you hear Mr. T say it was illegal, and also where he mentioned the Presidential Records Act, how very clear they are, and he's very confident. Now, did you all know how many cases there are against Mr. T right now? Government cases and civil cases that mostly there might be a few out there we hadn't heard about. But there's 6 cases altogether. 5 of them are like criminal or carry some kind of penalty under law. And one of them is that dizzy woman that said he had accosted her in a clothing store. So there's 6 cases. You got Alvin Bragg. You got Jack Smith. You got what's her name? Letitia James. Fannie 2x4, whatever her name is, and in Georgia. And there's one other criminal one. Anyway, and plus the lady in the clothing store. Well, all of them are adjourned. Namely, nothing is going to be happening with those cases, not dismissed or anything. They're adjourned. until this federal case is taken care of. So, except Fannie said she's going to keep going with her case. So somebody's got to get some crayons and construction paper and sit down and go over with her what the scenario is, so she'll understand she can't do anything while this federal case is going on. They're adjourned till further notice. And I also heard, and I haven't heard anybody else say anything about it, but I will say I've heard it, that DJT has effectively put the brakes on Alvin Bragg's case by suing Michael Cohen, right? The crooked lawyer. And the grapevine, I heard through the grapevine that Alan Dershowitz was going to handle that. Now, I'm not too sure about that, but I think he's suing Cohen for $5 million. And Cohen is their star witness. And you also have that one attorney who is facing contempt charges for publishing the book concerning that case. And then you also have another person working for the DOJ who's in very hot water over attempting to bribe one of Trump's attorneys concerning a judgeship. All these things are not being reported by the mainstream media. Trump is not just sitting on his hands and batting away missiles. He's firing back. They're just not reporting on it. And Trump will talk about it when he feels like it. So, yeah, that's all stuff that I picked up. It might be 500 million Tennessee. I can't imagine Trump. You're right. You're probably right. Why would Trump fool around pocket change, as much damage as has been caused? How you doing, Wolfpack? Wait a second. Anyway, let me see what else is going on here. I tell you, it's so much, but it's getting fun in a way. It's getting fun. And like I said, I'm not going to get worried until Trump gets worried. When Trump gets worried, I'll worry. Okay. And right now, he's not worried. Hi, Rick. How you doing? Camperman. Paula. Thank you, Paula, for hitting the thumbs up. Ha ha. So let's see. Here's a report. Anthony Blinken confirms China trip after routine scolding from Beijing. Apparently, the Biden administration is caught off guard by China taking side with Russia. And also Saudi Arabia's very cold treatment of the Biden administration. You got two major players, and he's heading to China. The U.S. State Department and Chinese Foreign Minister confirmed Wednesday that Secretary of State Anthony Blinken will visit Beijing next week. Well, let him go visit, because he probably won't get a flag put behind him like Saudi Arabia did. And I tell you, Saudi Arabia is the situation very interesting, very interesting. When you look at that golf situation where they merged, okay, or that Trump predicted. Trump put out a truth, and he gently scolded all the golfers that would not play along with the Leave golf tournament. And he said, why did you all turn down that money? What did you have to lose? they merged with us just like I predicted. And you'll probably never get a chance to earn money like that again. And you turned it down for what? A bunch of loudmouth, overpaid executives at the PGA? And he said, well, anyway, such is life. Have a great life. You blew it. And it's true. So, but Saudi Arabia, I heard, and I talked about it a couple of days ago. I talked about it over the weekend, I think, that a mystery buyer had put out feelers to buy Disney. After it came out that Disney is in dire straits financially because they have an agreement to cough up money for a certain part of Hulu, Hulu. And there was a little argument over how much they would pay, when they would have to pay, or even if they had to pay at all. And it came out, oh, yes, you have to pay. And the amount of Hulu is valued, I think, up to 72 billion or something, from 25 to 72 billion, something, big range, a big wide range. And Disney's responsibility is somewhere between, I think, 7 billion and I can't remember, maybe 20 billion. I can't remember, somewhere around there. And they don't have any liquid cash on hand. They only have 200 million liquid cash, allegedly. So right when this story is going around, some mystery buyer comes out and says, I'll buy you out. I'll buy Star Wars, Lucasfilm. That's one of your assets I want. And what are they going to say? They got to come up with some money, and they got to come up with it quick. And it turns out, the reason I'm bringing it up is that it's somebody from overseas that has a lot of money, is a Star Wars fan, and they want to bring it back to what it was, get all the woke stuff out of it. And the rumored purchase price is $8 billion. Now, George Lucas sold that to Disney, I believe, for between $4 billion and $5 billion. So it would get them out of the red, but they would lose creative control. And now, what kind of person? It is rumored that the $8 billion doesn't mean anything to them. They've got so much money, and they're such a avid Star Wars fan, and reportedly Marvel Universe, okay, I think it's MCU, that the money is a drop in the bucket. Well, right there, you've got a Saudi prince, okay? And it's all, I believe, a part of reversing what they have done intentionally. This illegal psychological operation on the American people includes our culture and entertainment. I think you're going to see DC Comics get flipped over to somebody because, as we were told, they will collapse under the weight of their own illegality. We've seen Twitter flip over, okay? We see Truth Social making huge grounds. We see Tucker Carlson getting 116 million views on episode 3 yesterday. That's unheard of. People are thirsty and hungry for real information. They are thirsty and hungry for real entertainment. They don't want to be puked out. They don't want to be made uncomfortable viewing things that are unnatural. But there's been a coordinated assault on our culture. And we've seen A lot of things that people have been enjoying for decades be destroyed. Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. And if Honey gets in the broadcast, she'll be able to confirm that for me because that's a British show. Doctor Who, that's iconic. And they've ruined it. Superman, they made everybody woke, even the Incredible Hulk, he'll be wearing pink drawers for it's all over with if they could get their way. And I think we're going to see that stuff get turned around. It's very interesting. That's right. They will hang from their own petard. And I put that picture of a Superman kissing or Superboy kissing another boy. I mean, their DC Comics, their sales just collapsed. And the only one they couldn't turn into some kind of woke, what did Trump call his opponents today? Mutants, mutants and Marxists. I might read, if I got that in the studio, I'll read it. Mutants and Marxists, but the only one they haven't really destroyed was Spider-Man. That's because Sony Pictures will not let go of the rights to that. So anyway, it's going to be fun to watch these so-called artists collapse. Trans Hulk, sure, he said, if they could get away with it, they would. But they had the, I didn't watch it, but I have seen some videos on it and stuff like that. They had that one character, Thanos, where he snapped his finger and everybody disintegrated. This Thanos character beat up the Hulk, killed Thor, Iron Man, all of them. So, what the heck? It's kind of like, what's her name? Kathleen Kennedy. You had the biggest cinematic event in history at your fingertips. And that was reuniting Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Chewbacca. All those four characters. The big reuniting of those four characters. She had Han Solo killed in the first episode. The actor who played Chewbacca died. And Carrie Fisher died. So that golden opportunity is gone forever. And she piddled around through 2 movies and never acknowledged it. This is where I think the shareholders of Disney should be able to and may actually sue her individually and the board members of Disney for destroying a viable product and costing that company billions. They should be sued, and that might happen. Along with all the other franchises that have been destroyed by this woke lunacy. Nobody wants to see that garbage. That's right, ruining the old school comics, cameraman. Right after Stan Lee passed away, they started this stuff up. I met Stan Lee a couple of times. And Jack Kirby. But anyway, Fox News backtracks after Chiron called Biden a wannabe dictator. Have you all heard that? And it shows Joe at a podium. It says, wannabe dictator speaks at the White House just after he finishes having his political opponent arrested. It was only up for a couple of seconds. His political rival arrested. and they took it down. But then you have Rachel Maddow refused to put up Trump's historic remarks at Bedminster. You have a former president arrested by a God knows who from Europe comes over here and arrests the president on criminal charges. Not these little rinky-dink state finger pointing. And MSNBC doesn't think it's newsworthy to cover what he's saying. So, and I tell you, it's gonna be very interesting. It's going to get hot. I'm not going to call timber yet, but it's getting there. And I'll tell you something else that's interesting. I did a video called Shrinking Dark, that the dark was shrinking. Namely, the light was coming in and shrinking the dark. And it was about a lawsuit between Saturday Night Live cast members for abusing or taking kids to these parties every week. They would have these cast parties after the show. Excuse me while I have a drink of my coffee. And I mentioned that that's how it started with Epstein, a lawsuit. Some victims spoke up. That's what's happening at Saturday Night Live. And now you have this writer's strike. You have people like Fallon, Colbert, all the Saturday Night Live crew. None of them are doing shows. They can't make any shows making fun of Trump or doing skits about him being arrested or none of that stuff. They're dead quiet. And they're blaming it on a writer's strike. And come on now. I think there's something else going on. Don't you? All of them are shut up. MIA. And a lot of them are having to go to court and explain what they were doing with 14 and 15-year-olds at their parties. Whoops. Am I still here? Yeah. Okay. I thought I jumped off. Yeah. Let's see. How convenient, Georgia says it's true. CBS chief George Cheeks. George Cheeks. Cheeks. Okay. On writer's strike. We have to figure this out. The executive added during a Banff World Media Festival Summit series session. I still remain very hopeful that we will find compromises. It's existential for all of us. How long has this writer's strike been going on? And you know what? Nobody misses those daggone shows. I'd rather watch reruns of Andy Griffith and Bonanza myself than sit there and listen to Jimmy Fallon or Stephen Colbert or any of those screwballs. So anyway, Starbucks, I saw some videos. I was going to get screenshots and all that. Starbucks, they're putting out there, some of these people that are creators, they just want clicks and they grab a piece of bait and shove it in their mouth, hook and all. And they say, oh, big news. Starbucks is getting rid, they want all the woke stuff out of their stores, all the pride flags, all that stuff taken care of, now out of the stores. Oh, really? That's why I saw that cup. I showed that cup last night that said, looking for help wanted, and we offer transgender surgery coverage. So what if they take their flags down and all that? it's rooted in what their in their company philosophy. Just because they take down their flags and garbage out of their stores doesn't mean it's not rooted in their company. And I'll tell you another reason why they might have started to kick back on this woke stuff. This case right here. Let me see. Former Philly Starbucks manager wins a $25.6 million judgment after being fired for being white. Her name is Phillips. Her last name alleges that she had been used as a scapegoat by the company. So she won $25 million bucks, and they got to cough it up. Hi, Nikki, how you doing? Hi, Tyne, how are you? Amy, how you doing? So, yeah, I think that judgment might have had a little bit more to do with it. No, it hadn't been reported. Has anybody heard it on CBS or anything like that? A $25 million lawsuit, a woman fired from Starbucks because she was the wrong color. So anyway, here's the article. Right Side Broadcasting covered it too. And I took my own clip of when Trump said it was an illegal psychological operation. Okay. And that's going to fall. Certain aspects of it are going to fall under the laws of war. They're going to fall under military jurisdiction. But let me see this article here. Trump calls out weaponized federal agencies for waging, quote, illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the American people, unquote. And there's a picture of President Donald Trump. He scorched the Biden administration and the, quote, weaponized federal agencies that have infected the moral integrity of the United States during the remarks he made at Bedminster. So it's interesting he made those remarks from Bedminster. I was saying that's the real nerve center. That's where he went when he was told that Trump Towers was bugged. I'm just reading some of the comments. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? Yeah, I had a video of that I erased. I had it. I could have played it before it got posted on these other sites, and I just decided not to. But I did get a article where that person, the big story, they're banned from the White House grounds. What the hell were they doing at the White House in the first freaking place? Ban them from the White House like they were scheduled to come back for lunch the next day or ever going to come back in their life again? No, what that was done to humiliate America. That so-called whatever, taking their shirt off, a man that mutant. That's what Mr. G called them, mutants. I wonder if I'll come across that. Tucker Carlson on Trump indictment. This is the destruction of our democracy. Last week, Tucker Carlson debuted his new show, Tucker on Twitter. That premiere episode has accumulated impressive 116 million views, despite receiving a cease and desist order from Fox News. So, well, money does talk. That's what Mr. T said. That was put out as, what was the 3 words Mr. T said about these situations? Money does talk. So let me see. Mr. T put out a thing 2 hours after he put this out. He says, President Trump raised over $6 million and counting since deranged Jack Smith announced political prosecution. And this is like a press release from Bedminster, New Jersey. Since deranged Jack Smith took the unprecedented step of weaponizing the justice system to attack his political opponent, Donald J. Trump, for President 2024, has raised more than $6.6 million in a few short days. It wasn't even an hour after that. It's well past 7 million. People like a winner. They're going to go with a winner. Why would you send your money to a loser? And we all know that the Democrats and the big guy, a huge portion of their campaign funding went straight from BLM straight to the Democrat Party. That's dried up now. That's dried up. Or I prefer to say mopped up, because Trump mopped the floor with them, cleaned it right up. In a clear sign of steadfast support for President Donald J. Trump, he enjoys from grassroots patriots across the nation. Over 4.5 million has been raised from digital fundraising, with an additional 2.1 million raised at President Trump's event at Bedminster last night. Ha ha! So that historic speech, I can call that the $2.1 million speech, but it was historical. And I went over it last night. He's making it plump and plain. People are going to jail over this stuff. These sacred, quote, institutions that they've constructed in their own brains are going to get torn down. You saw the students in Burlington, Vermont. My pronouns are USA, and it wasn't very many of them. It was just maybe a half a dozen to a dozen kids just saying, "Oh no, I'm not wearing your I'm not going to look like a box of Fruit Loops, okay? An open box of Fruit Loops. I'm not dressing like that." And some of them wore American flags, and some of them just dressed in black. And oh my goodness, you should hear the school board. This homophobia is unacceptable. Hey, you can't go around and make somebody dress like, as Archie Bunker would say, a fairy. You can't make somebody do that. You all are the ones with the hetero issues. You have issues with hetero people, and you want to mock them and make them behave in humiliating and offensive ways and bake creepy cakes for you. So all that stuff Mr. T has said is going to come crumbling down. Watch those caps, Andrew. Appreciate you being here. You can use caps, but not the whole post, okay, buddy? And I agree with you. Lori, oh my God. Yeah, hit the like button, or Lori. Oh God, that's awful. That's scary. Anyway, he goes on to say, the American people will not stand for this corrupt attempt to interfere in the 2024 election against the leading candidate for president, who will demolish the deep state and finish the job of draining the swamp. Universal polling, both nationally and statewide, has shown President Trump holding insurmountable leads, and the only candidate who can beat Joe Biden in a general election. So I like the way he put that out. It looks like a press release. It's typed very nicely. Let's see. Yeah, that's right, Tennessee. You want my pew pew? Come and get it. Bang bang. Thank you, Andrew. Okay. Awaken Trillium's here. How you doing? So it was funny how somebody was saying that they if the media says they can't stand Trump, they lose. If they say they, there's no winning for the mainstream media, except that one time they did the right thing. They had him on a town hall. He brings some ratings. I guarantee you their ratings for him just yesterday, people watching that show to get a glimpse of Trump. Their MSNBC's ratings were way higher than average. And what do? When Trump's getting ready to speak, they say, well, we're not going to show it, but we're going to go over these 37 indictments again. It is the same charge with 37 different pieces of paper. That's called beating a damn dead horse. And when it's all over with, they're going to learn about classified information. They're going to learn how that works, and that the librarian doesn't tell people with classified clearance, all right, when and how they can receive information or keep information. It's none of the librarian's damn business. So they're going to learn that. And so is the FBI. The other thing, the issue that people haven't thought about, Trump is authorized to have classified information, number one. Number two, he has a duty to protect it, especially from enemies, foreign and domestic. Remember the movies where somebody takes a piece of paper, crumbles it up, and sticks it in their mouth and swallows it? He's not going to do that, of course, but he has a duty to make sure. And I think we're going to hear of this. People that he considers to be subversive elements or an enemy of the state or a foreign power. He's got every right to protect that. And if there's elements in the FBI like that, he has a duty to keep it from them. If there's elements like that in NARA, the librarians, any of them are agents or agent provocateurs or people acting in a subversive way against this country. He's got every right to keep it from them. And as far as executive privileges go, judges included. That includes judges. If you think that if there's a credible notion that they're especially influenced by foreign powers, yeah, you can tell that judge to stick it. And that judge can go talk to the military if they want certain documents. The 20 rhinos, I got a picture of them. I was going to do a picture show tonight, but that's a lot of work. I couldn't get it all together in time, but I got a picture of them with their names and telephone numbers. I'll put it up tomorrow so you can see for yourself if you got any rhinos infecting your, oh my gosh. Well, see, now that's an example where we're weeding them out of the House of Representatives. Those 20 Republicans are going to have hell to pay getting back in, because at what Adam Schiff was patently subversive. to the executive branch. He knowingly told lies. He was knowingly a part of this illegal psychological operation against the American people. That's the words Mr. T used. And he did cost this country financial waste and a lot of emotional stress and division. I personally think that they should make a criminal referral on him. But then again, who do you make a criminal referral to? Because the FBI and Department of Justice is apparently under the control of subversive elements. So we'll see what happens with that. And like I said, Mr. T is confident. He's upbeat. He's determined. And he's making no bones about what's going to happen to these people. And if anybody's got any brains in their head that had been playing for the other team thinking, Orange Man bad, you better wake up. And if you got any information that'll help, you better cough it up. Make sure you're careful. Make sure you talk to the right people. But you better start playing ball with the people that are on the side of America first, okay? Just like when Marjorie Taylor Greene said to the FBI, if any of you want to talk, now is the time. Next day, you had multiple whistleblowers. Next day. So, somebody sent me a message on another video. The cat, come on over, we're live, the cat. But this U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Deanna M. Burt, okay, Citizens Free Press was reporting, meddles in politics in violation of the Hatch Act, prohibiting military personnel from giving opinions on political matters while in uniform. And I'll play this video next time I do a picture show. But she talks about how she picks people. Now, this is Space Force, okay? She's what did I say? A general? Let me see. Lieutenant General. And she's talking about inclusion and how states are passing laws that are contrary to the LGBTQ lifestyle and how it's harmful to families, quote, families where they can't get the, quote, care they need. Care, meaning mutilative surgery. What she had no business talking about state laws, politics, or nothing else. And I can guarantee you she was put in that position after Biden got in. And she can put an egg in her shoe and beat it when Trump comes back in, because she did violate the Hatch Act and she violated the code of conduct. And I'll play that video for you next time I do a picture show. So, what, my chat's frozen up? Okay. Let's see. What else have we got going on here? I see Nikki's got some mad faces. Yeah, it's getting rowdy in there. Let's see. Breaking, a grand jury in New York has just indicted Daniel Penny for manslaughter in the Jordan Neely case. Penny protected innocent civilians from a drug addict thug who had been arrested over 40 times. This is outrageous. So that came out today, that he's up for manslaughter. It's going to get to the point where people are. I remember in New York when a woman was assaulted, and it was in the oh gosh, I guess that was in the 70s, and the nation was shocked because nobody did anything. That people heard her screams from their apartment windows, and nobody did anything to help her. And people were shocked. I mean, it was national outrage over it. Now you have people that are helping when they see something go wrong, and they're being prosecuted. So Anna Paulina put out 20 Republicans voted with Dems to stop the ethics investigation, censure, and fine of Adam Schiff. So there is no confusion, as some did not accurately read the bill. I will be filing a privilege motion to censure and send Schiff to ethics for investigation. See you next week, Adam. So she's coming out again, and she's going to be calling out these same 12. And I mean, these same 20 rhinos, they're going to be put to the test again, because if Adam Schiff goes to the ethics committee for censure, a fine is still on the table. And those Republicans know that. So see you next week, Adam. So here's the 20. I'm looking at them. Let me see if any of them. I'll have to post that tomorrow. See if anybody off the top of my head, if I see anybody that shocks me. They all look like a bunch of creeps that just drift under the radar creeps. So I'll put a picture up, and if they're, that's why I said a long time ago, it's so sad how many people don't know who their representatives are. Their representatives in Congress in Washington, D.C. for their state. Who are they? They're the people that run your life. Know who they are. I know who mine are. They better not be on that list of 20. Oh my gosh, I've gone over an hour. Let me shoot. Oh my goodness. My word. Well, let me tell you, I got one tweet that Elon Musk responded to from the White House. Did you all hear about this one? The White House put out, to the LGBTQ L or I plus community. Oh boy, they keep adding stuff. The Biden-Harris administration has your back. And they've got something on there that says, these are our kids. And Elon Musk responded, you are the government. They are not your kids. So I got that clip of Biden saying they're our kids. I'll play that. You can't play that kind of stuff enough. They need to have it rubbed in their face. So, hey, how you doing, Bobcat? That's right. We're finding out both parties. We got stinkers in both parties, and we're really hanging them out there to everybody to look at. Those 20 members that voted against Schiff, and then when she puts up that amended one just to send it to the ethics committee, if they still vote against it, that's it. Their political career is over. Okay, that'll get rubbed in their face every time they try to run for something. So she is really putting the heat on. So anyway, I didn't realize I'd gone over an hour already. I just got myself into a trance and started talking. But I appreciate everybody helping me out last night with buy me a coffee. And I got a link in the description if anybody wants to help me out. I really appreciate it. And I will be working on getting back up here. Maybe tomorrow, I hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll know when I go live. And if you hadn't been getting notifications, check to see if you got to hit that bell again and refresh that. Okay, folks? So anyway, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. We'll be getting together real soon. And you all have a great evening. This is Mountain Man, over and out.